major archaeological exhibition, Kingdom of David and Solomon Discovered, opened at the Armstrong Auditorium in Oklahoma City earlier this year. This unique archaeological exhibition, organized in cooperation with the Israel Antiquities Authority, will be open to the public until the end of this year. At the opening ceremony of the exhibition, archaeologist Brent Nagtegaal gave details of the unparalleled finds on display.
Most of the artifacts that we have in the exhibition have been found in the past 20 years. And so if you're looking for evidence of King David and King Solomon, most of that has come about fairly recently. And also we have brought together artifacts from lots of different sites in Israel. And again, some of these discoveries, are only coming to the public eye today, so it is a very unique exhibit for sure. Almost everything is confined to the 10th century BCE, so the time period of David and Solomon when they were kings over Israel. We try to do that to make sure that we don't have too much guesswork of later finds. Are they Davidic, are they Solomonic or not? And so we have all of them related to that time, bar 2 seal impressions. And most of these artifacts came from a site in the Judean lowlands called Kirbet Caiaphas. This is a site that's purely from the 10th century, so we know that all of these are from David's time. We have lots of different pottery vessels from that time, from that place. And then we also have the shrine model. This is one of Israel's most important artifacts from the 10th century, one of the Israel Museum's important artifacts, and they gave it to us on loan with the Antiquities Authority. And what's so important about that is it has architectural features on this little model that are identical to the biblical description of what Solomon's temple and palace would have looked like. So you can kind of see a miniature version of at least the facade of what the temple would have looked like. It's the world premiere of the Ophel Pithos inscription. So this is a 10th century inscription found in Jerusalem, the earliest alphabetical inscription found in Jerusalem, found in the Ophel excavations in 2012. And a theory about this came out this past year from Dr. Daniel Weinstaub, who was studying South Arabian script, so a script of modern-day Yemen, ancient Sheba, and from this time period. And prior to his reading of this, everyone thought this was a Canaanite language written on this, but nobody could tell the inscription. He looked at it saying, well, no, it's not Canaanite, it's actually South Arabian. And because of that, he could read it clearly. And one of the words is ladan, which is in biblical Hebrew would be shechelet, which is one of the 4 spices that is used in the creation of temple incense during King Solomon's time and also back during the Tabernacle's time. And so he put all this together. We have a Sheba inscription in Jerusalem from the 10th century. And what was contained in the vessel most likely was this incense. And it also has a letter or a cipher for the number 5 on it as well, which this vessel would have been contained 5 ephah, the measure of volume for ancient Israel. And so it all checks out that you have the ladan or the ladanan, and then the 5 measures of it, about 110 liters is what this vessel would have contained. And it's on Jerusalem's Ophel, this area that was the royal Solomonic complex, including the temple, his palace, and so on. And so the geography of where it was found fits too with the story in 1 Kings 10, which talks about the Queen of Sheba's visit to King Solomon, bearing spices as well that would have been used in the temple. So that's our keynote artifact. We also have 2 other artifacts, well actually 4 other artifacts that haven't been seen by the public before. 2 seals made out of stone, beautiful, from the 10th century as well, from the Ophel. Most people, a lot of archaeologists would consider that writing wasn't really around that much in Jerusalem in the 10th century. However, we find scores of these seals that would have been used to seal documents. And so while we might not have like somebody's name written on the seal like you would have in later periods, we do have an icon or a picture, like a crest of somebody that would have sealed these documents. So we have 2 of those from the 10th century in Jerusalem. And we also have a portion of a Proto-Aeolic capital This is a new style of architecture that we believe begins around the 10th century. Most of these massive capitals that would have sat on top of a pillar, so it's what's holding up the ceiling, they're found in a context of destruction. So we don't know when they'll first set up, we know when the building was destroyed. However, it looks like, based on where they're found throughout Israel, that this is an Israelite phenomena with links to Phoenicia towards to the northwest. And it began, we believe, in the 10th century. And one of those was found in the Ophel as well, under the excavations of Dr. Eilat Mazar for Hebrew University. We're also releasing to the public today. So the others people know about. There's another one that nobody knows about yet. And this is a very tiny artifact. Its length is only 4 millimeters by 4 millimeters. It's a tiny pendant to the bottom of an earring. It's the oldest gold that's ever been found in Jerusalem. It's a gold object. Electrum to be precise, and what it is the bottom of an earring. It's a pendant that would have hung from the bottom of an earring. And what's interesting about this is that these have only ever been found when they're outside the Levant at Phoenician sites, Phoenician colonies throughout the Mediterranean. So when you're talking about, Sardinia or Cyprus or North Africa, Cadiz even, they have these little basket pendants. And so what Amir Golani, he's an antiquities authority jewelry expert, what he says about these is that they're a cultural marker for a Phoenician presence. So if you see one of these, it's not like they're given out by trade. They're actually worn by somebody. They're worn by a Phoenician. So the fact that it was found in Jerusalem from the time of Solomon indicates that you have a Phoenician presence there, which King Hiram of Tyre was an ever lover of David, 1 Kings 5 mentions. And he, when Solomon was made king, sent Phoenicians down there to help him build the temple, his palace, and so on. And so now we have the first really conclusive proof that there wasn't just Phoenician influence in Jerusalem, but a Phoenician presence in Jerusalem in the 10th century as well. And people can see that at this exhibit. This is really interesting. If people want to see the exhibit, they can actually tour it virtually. As of a couple of hours ago, there's a virtual tour that's up on our website. So people can come in and click on all the text boards and all the maps, and they're going to get a really full picture of what's been found based on evidence, scientific evidence from David and Solomon's time. We also have, if people visit the exhibit here, we have a virtual reality station where we've got 4 different headsets where people can go to and this was provided by the City of David Foundation in Jerusalem. They gave us the walk-through tour of the City of David Park. And so people can actually transport themselves to Jerusalem as well through virtual reality. We also have a video that has been created of the temple, so people can see what the temple looked like. We have a model, a 3-dimensional model, rather large. It's about 9 feet, I believe it is, something like that. And it's topographically accurate. It's accurate to the archaeological remains that have been found from the 10th century in Jerusalem. It's incredibly unique. I mean, you can come and just stand there and look at this map for a long time, look at all the intricate designs. You really won't find a map like this, even if you've been to Israel. They have a great Second Temple period map, or topographical 3-dimensional map, but the one from Solomon's time here is extremely unique and accurate, and so that's very special. One other thing I'd mention is that we have these amazing fabrics or textiles from the 10th century as well that have been found in southern Israel. So people can get a sense for the clothing styles that were worn at the time of David and Solomon as well. This is our 3rd exhibition in this location. We worked with the Antiquities Authority and Hebrew University to bring over artifacts from Israel. They were mainly focused on Jeremiah's time because we had seal impressions of people from the Bible from Jeremiah's time. And then the Hezekiah bulla was here a few years ago as well that was found in the Ophel. So we have a bit of a history of creating these. However, nothing is really, if you talk about the Bible, the Old Testament period, what stories really do resonate with people the most? It's David, it's Solomon. The biggest biography in the Bible is about King David. Everything we have here is not the Armstrong Institute of Biblical Archaeology's opinion. Everything we have here are the opinions of the archaeologists themselves that have excavated. We have simply brought them all together in one spot because academics, oftentimes, they are very focused on their window of scientific study, which is fantastic. It means it can be very specialized. But then oftentimes they're not aware of all the other pieces of the puzzle from different people and different archaeological sites, different mediums. And so what we've done is put together different scholars' research, whether it's Dr. A. Lotmazar, that found the Palace of David, worked on the Ophel, Professor Yosef Garfinkel, who worked at Kirbet Kayafa, Professor Erez Ben Yosef, who excavated the copper mines at Timnah, Dr. Arit Shamir, who's here with us, who studied the textiles. There's a lot of others. These are their opinions. This is the scholarly opinion. It is here. Of course, you will have other scholars whose life's goal, it seems, in many ways, is to kind of pick at the other scholar's opinion. But academic games such as those have always been, in the scene. But what we've tried to produce is a scientific understanding of the 10th century based on the people that excavated those sites. Not an outside voice telling them whether they did a good job or not, but the people that actually excavated. You'd be surprised, actually, the reception of the public here in Edmond. And Oklahoma, Texas, this area is people that do believe in the Bible and the biblical stories, and so they really do have a thirst and an appetite to see whether those stories that they have learnt, whether they're real or not. And so to bring artifacts from Jerusalem to here is important for the public here. We're on the campus of Herbert W. Armstrong College right now. We've had a relationship with Israeli archaeology for over 50 years, sending students over almost every summer to excavate in excavations over there. And so the reason it's here is because this is where our college is. We've got a participation with Jerusalem for a long time, starting with Mr. Herbert Armstrong, which the namesake of our institute. And so we would like, even for our people that support the work and those efforts of over those decades, to be able to see the artifacts and the fruits of their work as well.
The archaeological exhibition on the time of David and Solomon in Oklahoma is of great importance. It confronts everyone with the truth of the Bible's claims about the kingdom of David and Solomon. The exhibition will be on display in Armstrong Auditorium until the end of 2024, but is also available online as a virtual exhibition on the on-screen website.